Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about CBC grade 9 specialization paths. This is one of the most important topics for grade 9 learners. It is also very important for parents and teachers because many people are asking this question, and the question is, after grade 9, where does the learner go? Which pathway should the learner choose? What is STEM? What are social sciences? What is arts and sports sciences? All these questions, these are the things that we are actually trying to explore and answer in this channel. Now let me explain in a simple way. Under CBC, grade 9 is the final year of junior school. And then after grade 9, the learner moves to senior school. And senior school will now start from grade 10. At this point, the learner does not just choose a school, the learner is supposed to choose a pathway. A pathway is like a career direction, and it helps the learner to study subjects that do match their talent, their interest, and future career. So instead of handling everything in senior school, they are required to choose a specific pathway which will guide the career that they are going to pursue in future. So grade 9 learners are not just choosing randomly. They are choosing the direction they want to follow in senior school. There are three main pathways. We have STEM, we have social sciences, and we have arts and sports science. Now let us look at each one. Number one is the STEM pathway. And STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. This pathway is good for learners who enjoy science. It is also good for learners who enjoy mathematics, computers, machines, and problem solving. Now, a learner in this pathway may be interested in careers like medicine, nursing, pharmacy, engineering, architecture. We have many including computer science, agriculture, aviation, and other technical jobs. Now, STEM, when a learner chooses STEM, you need to understand that it has different tracks. So, number one, you are choosing a path. There are three paths, 1, 2, 3 paths. Then the first one is STEM. And now once you choose that path, it has tracks. So this STEM is branching. It is branching into tracks. And the tracks include, the first one is pure sciences. So if you choose STEM, you are supposed to choose the tracks within that pathway that you are going to pursue. Now we have pure sciences, and this is for learners who want strong science subjects. For example, learners who want biology, chemistry, physics, and advanced mathematics, they can choose that pure sciences track. And then number two, we have applied sciences track. It is still under STEM, and this connects with science with real life. From the way I did my research on applied science, I realized that it is more about connecting science with real life. For example, it includes areas in agriculture, home science, aviation, marine, fisheries, computer studies. You see, those things that apply to real life. And then another track is the technical studies, and this can include practical subjects like building construction, electricity, metalwork, woodwork, power mechanics, all those mechanical things. That is the technical studies. It includes the technical things that learners are supposed to do. So STEM is not only for doctors and engineering. It is actually very broad. It supports technical careers. It supports hands-on skills. It supports innovation. It is a very great option for learners who love problem solving. Now, if a learner likes fixing things, building things, coding, farming, doing experiments, STEM is a very good choice. So a learner must be interested in this thing, because if your area of specialization or what you like to do is in the other pathways, then you choose STEM, it can be very difficult for you. But if this is the area that you truly like and you are talented in, it is going to be very easy for you. Now, if the learner chooses the STEM pathway, they need to be ready to work hard, because STEM needs a lot of focus. You have seen that most of these subjects are the technical ones. So it needs good performance in science and mathematics. You cannot just join STEM. You need to make sure that in science and mathematics you are performing well. Then the second pathway, let us talk about the second one, is is social sciences pathway. Now this pathway is about social sciences. It is a pathway good for learners who enjoy people, social sciences, people, those who enjoy people, those who enjoy the society, those who love things to do with leadership, business, communication, human behavior, all these things about the society and business and leadership. Those people are supposed to go for the social sciences pathway. Now, this pathway is also a very good option. It can lead to careers like law, journalism, teaching, public administration, business, all the business courses, finance, psychology, social work, international relations, community development, name them, all those courses that have to do with social sciences. Now, social sciences also has tracks. Just like the STEM, this one has tracks. Now, one of the tracks is humanities and business studies. In this track, it can include subjects like history, citizenship, geography, business studies, religious education, and it just focuses on those issues that are about humanity and business. Then another track under social sciences is language and literature. So when we talk about language and literature, we are talking about subjects like literature in English, fasihi ya Kiswahili, indigenous languages, French, German, Arabic, Mandarin, sign language, anything to do with language. And those people who love learning about languages, you love interacting with people, you can interpret, it looks like something that is not important, but it is important. If, for example, you learn French, you can be very useful when someone who understands French is required to interpret, or when you go to France, you are going to be very resourceful. Now, this pathway is good for learners who are strong in reading, writing, speaking, debating, having business ideas, people who love businesses, and those who understand the society. Now, if you find that you are very much interested in things to do with society, things to do with business, you love reading and writing, a student who can even write a novel. I saw students who could write novels even when they were still very young. Such students, and they love interacting with people, they can go for this social sciences pathway and then choose a track that is within their interest. If you are a parent and your child enjoys leadership, storytelling, business, languages, history, or current affairs, social sciences fits them very well. So check at the abilities of your child. Do not force them to go to the STEM pathway just because you think it is more marketable or it has strong courses. Remember, even this social sciences has a lot of options, and your child may find that this is what they enjoy doing and this is where they are talented. So it is about you looking at your child. How do they enjoy doing? Because remember, they don't have a lot of time to correct. In the 844, you could correct easily by going back and pursuing another degree or diploma. But what about now under CBC? Under CBC, this learner is supposed to choose a career pathway in grade 9, so that when they are going to grade 10, they already know the pathway they are going to follow, and even the track. So they don't have a chance to make mistakes. It can take them back. Imagine a child finishing senior school from grade 10 to 12, and then they go to tertiary education, which is the university, and then they realize that they chose the wrong course. Imagine how far back they are, because they just did the right thing up to grade 9, and it will be very hard for them now to go back to senior school and correct. And the government is trying to see how they can bridge that, but we still don't have a clear guideline on how students who choose wrongly are going to bridge that. So it is very important for a parent to ensure that you understand the interest of your child, understand what they love to do, and then advise them accordingly. If you see that they love leadership, don't force them to go to the STEM pathway. Let them take social sciences, because this is where people who want leadership, or those people who can do business, those people who love history, those people who want anything to do with social sciences, even current affairs, they fit very well in the social sciences pathway. Yes, I hope we all understand that as parents, we need to look at what our children can do and what they can do best, and then advise them accordingly. So even as you choose this social sciences pathway, remember this one thing. It does not mean that it is also an easy option, because it needs serious reading, writing, and also clear communication. It can also lead to strong careers when chosen wisely. For example, law. People who want to pursue law must go with this pathway. Then number 3, the third pathway, we have the arts and sports science pathway. Now this third pathway is very important. It is very, very important to our society. It is for learners with talents in creativity, performance, design, and sports. So observe your child. Do they love creativity? Do they love performances? Do they love designing? Do they love sports? So all learners who love this, they fit in this pathway very well. It is good for learners who enjoy music, dance, acting, film, drawing, painting, design, media, sports. There are so many opportunities in this third pathway. Now, if you see that your child loves music, they love sports, they love things to do with media, they love drawing, painting, they love acting, and you are sure this is what your child loves doing and they can fit very well, this is the pathway to go for. Now, the arts and sports science pathway also has tracks, and the first track is arts. Now, arts includes areas like fine arts, we have theater and film, and we have music and dance. All those students who love theater, film, music, and dance, they are just going to go for this track, the arts track. Then the second track under this pathway is sports and recreation. Now, when we talk about sports and recreation, we are talking about learners who are talented in sports and physical activities. You know, in the 844 system, we did not have a pathway for learners who love sports. You could not take it as a career. You could just train and maybe just shine out there later. But right now, learners have that chance. Maybe we have a learner who loves swimming, and this is what they are very talented in, and you are sure this is what they want to go with. They want to pursue it as a career. They can just choose the track that is under sports and recreation. Other learners love football. They are now going to take this track, which is sports and recreation. But here, you need to be very careful. Make sure that you look at the talent of the learner, because sports is so much about talent. It is so much about talent. You know, you can be a good athlete or you are not. You can be a good footballer or you are not. It is about talent. So here you cannot get it wrong. Just look at whether your child has that talent and that it can become a career for them in life. And if it can, and if they can, let them go with the sports and recreation track. Now, this pathway can lead to careers in film, music, and theater. The learners can also have other opportunities like animation. You know, animation is a whole industry. We have media houses. Media has a lot of opportunities. We have graphic design, very much needed in many businesses today. We have fashion. Fashion is a whole industry on its own. We have sports coaching. You know, this learner can just go with the sports pathway and then they just become a sports coach. And that is also a very good opportunity. We have fitness. We just have those people who love fitness. They can even come up with their own business like a gym, and they just decide to go with the fitness way. And that means there is a lot of opportunity even in this pathway. Then we have sports management, someone who can just become a sports manager. We have entertainment. This is where we have filming, theater, we have music, entertainment. So there are a lot of opportunities still in this pathway. But according to my view, this pathway is so much about talent. It is so much about talent. You have to look and determine that truly my child is talented in this area. And if they are, then you cannot prevent them. Allow them to go on and pursue their talent and just have it as a career. Because if your child loves music and you're sure this is what they are going to pursue, why not allow them to just go on with this pathway so that they can be sharpened. When they have a talent and then they are given the skills, they are going to be very, very resourceful in the society today. I think that every parent needs to understand this, that arts and sports is a pathway that is not useless. The world has changed. Currently, the world has changed, and people are making careers from creativity. People are making careers from sports. People are making money from media, design, content creation, entertainment. So talent alone is not enough, because if the learner is talented, for them to use that talent as a career, they need to train, they need to practice, they need to build discipline. They need to build discipline for them to be consistent with what they are doing. They also need to learn business skills. So if the learner is talented in arts and sports, do not kill that talent. Do not discourage them. What you need to do is to guide it appropriately. Tell the learner that this is what you are talented in and this is what you need to do. This is the pathway that you need to follow so that you can shine later in life. So, I have discussed the 3 pathways, but let us see, how should a learner choose the right pathway? Now, first of all, do not choose a pathway because your friend chose it. Do not choose because your parent forced you, if you are a learner. And also, do not choose because people are saying one pathway is better than the other. Honestly speaking, there is no pathway which is better than the other. All of them have opportunities. You just need to make sure that you have the right attitude, you have the talent, and that your abilities are within that pathway. There is no wrong pathway. All of them are important and they are all great. So what should you do? You should choose based on 4 things. So I want to summarize the 4 things which I believe are very important to consider when choosing your pathway. Number 1, look at the learner's talent. This is where you ask yourself this question: what is this learner naturally good at? For you to know your talent, you just ask yourself, what do you naturally like? And what comes out of you naturally will help you to define your talent. Then number 2, look at interest. This is when you ask yourself, what does the learner enjoy doing? And if you are the learner, what do I enjoy doing? There is something that you just enjoy. It is not a struggle to you. For example, if you are talented in football, you just enjoy football. When it comes to football, you are there and you enjoy doing it. But someone who is not talented in that area, they may not enjoy it like you do. Then number 3, look at performance. So even if there is talent and there is interest, what about performance, which is the 3rd one? Now, when we are talking about performance, we are talking about educational performance. Which subjects does this learner perform well in? Because it can help you determine the abilities of this child. Now, we have different subjects, and when you consider the one that the learner is performing best in, it will help you to determine whether the interest, the talent, and the performance align. And if they align, that is a very good indicator. Then the 4th is looking at future career goals. Now, this is where you ask yourself, what kind of life and career does the learner want? So every learner has an idea, maybe that when I grow up, I want to become this. When I grow up, I want to do this. And by looking at those future career goals, it can give you a blueprint of what this learner can do or what they are talented in. For example, if a learner wants medicine, engineering, technology, or agriculture, STEM may be the best direction. If they tell you they want to become a doctor or they want to become a business person, if they want to become a doctor, that is STEM. If it is a business person, that is the social sciences. Now, if a learner wants law, business, teaching, media, or public services, social sciences is going to be the best pathway, because that is the pathway that is going to nurture them towards that direction. And if they want to go to the film industry, music, design, sports, performance, arts, all those things, they need now to choose arts and sports science pathway. It is what fits better for them. The role of a parent and a teacher is to help the learner not to just choose, but to choose the best pathway for them. Now, a learner should be involved. Even if the teachers and the parents are helping learners, remember that learners must be involved when choosing. Because the best decision comes when the learner, the parent, and teachers talk together. The three must talk and then agree and determine that this is what this learner can do. Remember, we said that we don't want mistakes. Mistakes can be very costly in CBC. That is why there is a lot of discussions that needs to go on until you determine that this is what the learner should do. Now, parents should ask some simple questions. Like, you can ask your child, what do you enjoy? Apart from observing, you can ask them, what do you enjoy? Like, which subjects do you like? What are you good at? Which careers do you admire? When they just look around, which careers do they admire? And what kind of work do you want to do in future? Those questions are going to help you know what is in the mind of that learner. And then once they give you the answers, and based on your observations, based on what you have been observing and the performance that you get from school, you can now help them to know what they are best in, and you can help them know the career pathway that is best for them. You can also see the strengths of the learner and advise them accordingly. Every person has different strengths, and these strengths may define their abilities and their talents. Because where you are strong at, that could be where you are talented at. So by looking at the strengths of this learner, you are going to know the pathway that is best for them. Now, when you are choosing a pathway, there are some mistakes that are very important to avoid. And I'm just going to state them because we have already discussed what you need to look at. Mistake number 1 is choosing STEM only because people say it is the best. STEM is good, but it is not for everyone. Then mistake number 2 is thinking arts and sports science is for weak learners. This is very wrong. Actually, arts and sports science is for very strong learners. It is for people who have talent. It is for people who believe in themselves that I am choosing this direction and this is what I'm going to pursue and I am going to make a career out of it. It is for strong learners. It is for talented and creative learners, for creative people and people who have talent. So if you see a student who has decided to go with arts and sports science, it does not mean they are weak, but it actually means they are strong and very talented. Then mistake number 3 is thinking that social sciences has no jobs. This is wrong. This is a pathway that actually has a lot of jobs and a lot of opportunities because many careers come from social sciences. Even law, businesses, we have talked about them. All these careers, they come from social sciences. So you cannot underestimate it. It is equally good, just like STEM. And then mistake number 4 is ignoring the learner's interest. Now, a child can suffer if they are forced into the wrong pathway because that is not what they enjoy doing. So, a discussion needs to be made between the parent, the teacher, and the learner to determine the best pathway for this learner, and they must be involved so that you can know whether whatever they are being assigned to is within their interest. Then number 5 is choosing a pathway without checking subject combinations. Now, when I talk subject combinations, I'm talking about the 3 subjects that these learners are choosing. Now, not every school offers every subject combination. So, always check carefully before making choices. Because if, for example, there is a school that is offering social sciences and not STEM, that means the subject combinations they give are going to be based on social sciences and maybe arts and sports science, but nothing to do with STEM. So as you choose your career pathway, look at the subject combinations that you are choosing. You can check out our channel to get a more comprehensive video about how to choose the correct subject combinations. So finally, grade 9 specialization paths are very important. They help learners to prepare for senior school, and they also help learners to move closer to their future careers. The 3 main pathways are STEM, social sciences, arts and sports science, and each pathway has different tracks. Each track has different subject combinations. So learners should choose wisely and parents should guide the learners and not force them. the teachers are supposed to advise and not pressure anyone, just advise based on how they have seen the performance of the learners and their strengths. And learners are supposed to be honest about the strength they have and the interest, and not choose anything because other people are choosing it or because they heard it has career opportunities. It must be something that is within their interest and their strengths. This is because the goal of CBC is not just to pass exams. That is why the system changed. It is not about passing exam. The goal is to help the learners to build the skills, whatever they are capable at, for them to build those skills and to help them discover their talent and then prepare to become resourceful people in the society in future based on the abilities that they have. So take this decision seriously and ask all the questions that we have indicated there. All the questions I stated, and remember the 4 things you need to consider all of them, and then make a very wise decision of the pathway and the track and the subject combinations that this learner is going to choose. With that, I believe that now the learner is going to choose a pathway that fits them most. Now, if this video was helpful to you, please like it and subscribe to our channel if you have not done it already. Then share it with grade 9 learners or parents who need to hear this information. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video and stay blessed.